Okay. Time for us to continue. It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. It would, if what you say is true, Iceheart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. If necessities are complete reappraisal of the primal threat and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, the grave ramifications of this incident reach imperial ears. The Guard and the Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to the very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine, then, if it would become known as that it was not only the beast tribes of Izora, but that could summon primals, but his citizen, civilized people as well. Any lingering objections to the Azoran campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come, Edgar, it is better that we continue this conversation in Mordona. Well, Afino, hold on a sec there. I need to check something real quick because I am stupid and paranoid. I didn't mean to do that. Like I said, I am stupid. I didn't want that. I want that. Okay. After how many technical difficulties I've had in the past, I have some paranoia when it comes to recordings. Some people probably say play in window mode. I basically cannot. I get distracted too quickly if I'm playing in window mode, and it'll just be me just talking, and then suddenly I'll forget what I'm talking because I'm watching lights change color on my background. Which I'm surprised I don't do with my keyboard, since it also changes lights. Same with my mouse. My controller has the capability of doing it too, but I turned that off. Because that is too distracting for me.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once. Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoix's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogglmog the 12th was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
Yes, Thancred, but you still have to remember the power needed to keep up that form. Imagine how much she has to eat, or how many crystals she needs.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it.
Then why did you question us? Why do you question the things you already know?
Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Or how about we change the definition of primal?
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well.
Yes, that's the reason why she wasn't possessed.
If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard-Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well-founded.
I mean, I won't be surprised at this point. I still think Gaius is still alive. Hank. I don't really remember. And let's see. La Habrea ain't dead. For all we know, he could be like La Habrea. He returns to the void when he dies. And then he just has to wait for the respawn timer.
It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard-Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
Is it possible that the thing he's coiled around could possibly explode? Yeah. Weapon! I mean to scour the annals for knowledge of Midgard-Zoma. Given his great age, I dare say he appears to be more than a few. Do you hear that? The commotion outside. Would you see if aught is amiss? Oh, it's this Somgar just revived and is now causing terror through the skies again. Edgar, 'tis well that you are on hand. We have a probability has escaped. How did you guys manage to do that? Shortly after the Immortal Flames took her into custody. She had been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial, but apparently the accommodations were not to her liking. The turkey was found slain along with 2 guards, displaying she received inside help. Oh, turnkey, not turkey. She used her last meal to murder the guards. It was a turkey leg. She slayed 3 men with a turkey leg. Citizens report seeing Relia quitting the city via the Gate of Nald with a bloodied spear in her hand. She makes for Castrum Meridium. I am certain of it. With her fate in Azoria as good as sealed, what recourse has she but to flee to her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Ilbred and the first are hot upon Raleig's heels. Pray make haste to Camp Blue Fog and join the hunt. I forgot, was that the one that we sacked, or was that the one that blew up? I think this is the one that blew up. So I don't know what she's expecting to find out of the crater. Unless she's looking for Gaius' body. And then she might find some armor. Then again, she could still find the white armor there. My thanks for coming, son. I have spoken with the soldiers here. They say that Aurelia walked through the camp not a bell ago. Aye, she walked right through. You did not mishear. We have Raban's decision to keep the matter secret to thank for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison has made an attempt to detain her. And so here we are. Aurelia must not be allowed to reach Castrum Meridium. Well, I mean, you have Edgar in the flame, so how worse can morale get? I think this is the one that got blown up. Well, at least the only thing she's gonna find there is some nice and white armor, because I don't think we retrieved her body. Yeah, this isn't the one that we blew up. This is the one that we attacked. But we didn't blow it up. The Ascians blew it up. Which reminds me, where's that base on the map? I flew right over it. Oh, no. Oh, this is going to get interesting. This witch was with Aurelia. He threw himself at us that his mistress might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down. Not even when he started screaming. No loyalty even to her own. The goddamned Hoppy. With me, Scion, we almost have her. My magic rock is ready. How did no one stop her if she was dressed like that? Oh, I see now. Why? I think she would be in her commander outfit. Oh. Oh no. Yeah. Huh? We won! Yay! Banjo, now do it tight. Yes, sir. Good work, men. Jaina and Bayo cronies pushed us close, but we were better. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flame. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fallen so low. But what do you know of low? You're a spoiled little lordling who has never known any wants. People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think it's your God's given right to rule over others. You know not of our plight, the injustice that we low-bornish guardians must endure. The noble lords and ladies, we are not people, but resources to be consumed. I did what I had to survive, stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagine me a paragon when I joined the flames. To hear you tell it, one would think you were the only person to have suffered. In case you have forgotten, Raban himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth, with little more than the shirts on our back. Hunger was our constant companion, yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others their fortune. We accepted the hand that we had been dealt and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin and came back with more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we any different then? 'Tis truth that we were both mercenaries of lowly birth, and 'tis true that we both had our fair share of struggles. But worse, I sold my sword, you marshal sold your comrades. If life taught me one thing, it is that you will never betray your own. I would sooner cut my own arm than raise a hand against a friend. But enough talk. You will return to Uldal to face justice, and the people whose trust you have dragged through the gutter. Not so much as a hint of remorse. This sordid business is finally at an end. A friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Raban's chose his. We basically chose the people at random, didn't we?
I've heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Roban. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the Blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Yeah. Okay, return to inventory. Oh, time to do some clearing. I think that's enough clearing. And let's see. I am an idiot. Okay. To be honest, I'm not going to mess with glamours again. There's only one glamour I might mess with, but that's not going to be for a while. So let's tidy up all of this. Yep, that's everything tidied. Captain Elbred and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of her miraculous escape. When we have completed our interrogation, we would find her directly to General Aban, and that shall be the end. Your work here is done, my friend. My thanks. Oh, and I have one last task for you. Return to the Rising Stones and praise Mephilia of all that has happened. I am aware that the Ascendant held Rosalia in high regards, for better or worse. She will want to know how this tale ends. Hopefully, I'll start making my foot go, and I'll see that my mic is starting to move, like shaking. Hopefully that doesn't do anything with the recording. Pandora, I get your buddy. Merchant and Mender. Mend my stuff. Didn't buy some stuff. Purchase items. Okay, anything I can't sell, I'll just put back in the inventory. That go back to the armory chest. That should be all. Now, back to Mordona. Because a clean inventory makes a Gary happy. And lightens the load of Edgar. Actually, speaking of lightening load, I could do it even one better. There.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alfino. To think that Flame Marshal Huayu was the Garlean agent. I know not what to say. Together with Robon, Eileen lent us much-needed aid at the time of our Order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat. When we discussed the subject, her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters. I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Ascians. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled. My thanks for coming, friends. Moonbreeder, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with white auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Ascian souls. Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether. Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
In addition to auracite's inherent limitations, we must needs be wary of our enemy's strength. Our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Ascian soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Ascian soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with La Habrea.
During that encounter, Heidelin bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy. Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether. Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as La Habrea was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void. The fact remains, however, that Heidelin placed the means to destroy the Ascians in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that she will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Heidelin did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had 2 pieces of white auracite? One to trap the Ascian, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Yeah, that doesn't help. We need to find the ether first. And secondly, how are we going to store it if it just leaks out eventually, quite after we put it in?
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. We'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
'Twould seem more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the auracite. And I could do with some help. Urianger, why don't you lend me a hand?
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands. Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there, then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
While you were afield, word arrived from the Sharlayan motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident at the Isle of Vow. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least. According to the report, the Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
Aye. Yet the mystery endeth not with the isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldessian. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
All indications suggest Ascian involvement, but I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the Dark Beings call the One True God. We must pray that my dear friend Kryl regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.
Oh, 7,000. Yeah. Another cutscene.
Following the calamity, the forces of the 14th Imperial Legion entrenched themselves in strategic locations across Eorzea. So swiftly did they accomplish this, it was suspected that they had received help. To think that it came from Huayu, my right hand.
There is more. We have reason to believe that Huayu didn't deal exclusively with the 14th. She also answered to a higher authority in Garlemald. But this higher authority could not have been the Emperor. By consenting to the Media Project, Solus Zos Galvus showed himself to be more concerned about preventing the spread of primal influence than claiming Eorzea for the Empire. He would happily have seen the lot reduced to ash. We believe a number of high-ranking figures within the royal household were against the decision, but that they knew better than to oppose the Emperor openly. Of course, this didn't prevent them from making clandestine provisions, in which Huayu played a part.
Alas, these provisions did not prevent Dalamud from falling, and the ensuing chaos changed the face of the realm forever. Yet Eorzea survived. To all intents and purposes, the Meteor Project had failed, and the Empire was left to rue its lack of a decisive means to eliminate the primals. Until, that is, it stumbled upon the Ultima weapon.
Even before the accursed thing was dug up, it seemed to me the 14th had the might to overwhelm our weakened armies. Yet they chose to hide behind their walls. Why?
The Black Wolf was wary of making the denizens of Eorzea desperate, lest more primals emerge to bleed the land. The discovery of the Ultima weapon, however, emboldened him to resume his war of conquest in earnest.
But there was one in Garlemald who believed that Van Belsar's actions were premature. One who stood higher in the Imperial Army's chain of command. He ordered the Legatus to halt his advance, only to find that the Black Wolf had slipped its leash, and that the 14th now acted alone. In a bid to bring Van Belsar to heel, he used the agent he had planted in Ul'dah prior to the calamity to undermine the Legion's efforts.
A man who outranks Van Belsar, yet opposed the late Emperor's decision to annihilate Eorzea. This could only be the former High Legatus of the Garlean army, now known as Emperor Voris Zos Galvus. So he was Huayu's true master.
But one of several in actual fact. We've learned that even as Huayu served the Empire's interests, she sold Imperial secrets to a certain faction in Eorzea. In so doing, she helped to maintain the status quo, thus prolonging the conflict. Considering who stands to profit from war, it isn't hard to imagine who her other masters were.
Seven hells! You mean to say that she was a double agent?
Triple, if you consider her services to Van Belsar and the new Emperor as separate.
As neatly as these pieces seem to fit, one aspect of the puzzle remains unclear to me. By whose will was the Marshal feeding intelligence to the heretics? And try as I might, I fail to see how aiding their cause would profit either her Imperial or Monetarist masters. Could it be that another hand is at work here? If so, Huayu must be made to reveal whose it is.
It could be that she just didn't like Ishgard. She did say she was lowborn from there.
Not only have I lost a trusted friend, now I must interrogate her as a stranger.
Not a pleasant task, I grant you, but a necessary one. Unless we weed out the ivy, root, stalk, and stem, it will simply grow back.
I know that full well. Those closest to Huayu have already been detained, and I will question them alongside her.
General, pray keep in mind that there may be unwitting abettors among them.
All will be treated fairly. On that you have my word. Those who are innocent have no cause to fear.
You have ever been a friend of truth, General. I hope the unpleasant task of weeding out falsehood will not detain you too long. Though it be for the sake of Eorzea, doubting one's comrades is poison to the soul. And with that, I take my leave.
Weird two-headed turtle on the table.
All these years, I've been made to dance to their tune.
Is that turtle filled with candy, I wonder?
How could you, Huayu? How could you side with them?
Saltwater taffies?
Those cankers who take from this land and give naught in return, who use their power to disempower and grow fat while the people starve. I know you can hear me, monetarist scum! Your crimes will not go unpunished! Day and purge this land of your sickness before the eyes of the 12, I swear it!
When the chandelier falls right on top of him.
I shall have no further need of you this day. Your Grace. I fear that not even mine own chambers shall remain private for long.
Has the situation grown so grim?
Ever since he proposed the Cartiner Reclamation Bill, Teleji Adeleji has risen to greater prominence upon the backs of impoverished refugees. The monetarists were ever united in their pursuit of profit, but the man's actions have torn a rift in their ranks. They snap at each other as rabid dogs. Yet now is not the time to be bickering among ourselves.
If this bickering is a threat to law and order, might you not have grounds to dissolve the Syndicate?
Would that the solution were so simple, Admiral. Alas, my moving to dissolve the Syndicate is certain to spark outrage among the influential merchant class, whom the Cabal represents. This would serve to exacerbate the current unrest, and peace would slip still further away. Be they rich or poor, natives or refugees, all who reside in Ul'dah have a right to pursue happiness. It is the duty of a ruler to protect this right. If I am to perform my duty, I must needs tread warily. It would not do to make enemies heedlessly. Were Lord Lolorito here, he would doubtless say that I have my head in the clouds.
A ruler is required to take a wide view. Try as we might to cater to all needs, some will inevitably be overlooked. As such, there shall ever be citizens who feel aggrieved. It cannot be helped. But as you have informed us, the monetarists take no view but their own. They hunger for power while the masses starve. In the absence of a common cause, it seems beyond any one individual to make Ul'dah whole.
And the presence of a Garlean agent within the Immortal Flames only makes matters worse. Even accounting for Uldar's historic reliance upon mercenaries, such a grievous breach of security is unprecedented. I fear this business will provide the Monitarists with a rod to beat Rauban.
Eorzea can ill afford for the Immortal Flames to be dampened now. Ere long, the Garleans will turn their ravenous gaze toward our lands once more. If we are to resist their might, our nations must stand together. Yet for this to happen, our nations must be whole. Cannot be done to improve the situation in Ul'dah.
The true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her citizens. Alas, the citizens shall never know these things, so long as their lives are ruled by the ambitions of the few.
Her teacup's just filled with sugar. All three of them, their teacups are just filled with nothing but sugar. You got one filled with soup and one filled with sugar.
The Monitarists claim to represent the best interests of the people, but in sooth they desire only to manipulate them for their own selfish ends. For the government to serve the people, it must be formed of the people. For Ul'dah to move forward, it is not only the Syndicate that must be dissolved.
Nay, you jest.
My friends, it was for no other reason than to make known to you mine intent that I requested your presence here. When I make my declaration to the people, chaos shall inevitably ensue. As the last monarch in the line of Ul, I make unto you this request. Help Rauban to preserve order and protect the people. Forsake them, and you forsake yourselves. For a strong Eorzea will ever have need of a strong Ul'dah.
Your Grace, are you certain of this?
There is no other way. When the time is ripe, the nation shall become a true republic. Both royalists and monitarists shall cease to be. Ul'dah will no longer belong to kings or queens or merchant princes, but to her people. Rauban, forgive me for casting aside all that you have toiled for in my name. Beyond this gesture, I am powerless to help my subjects.
Love cutscenes. And with that, we'll call it there. I'll see you all in the next.